listening to the Shite Talk Podcast show. Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talk Podcast show. I'm your host, Mark and Ken.
That's correct.
On episode 211, I'm just unsure. I'm just like constantly second guessing myself with that fucking intro. Like 211 episodes in and we still haven't got it right. Imagine we had like a production team behind this. This was a TV show. They're like, can we just get rid of them?
Can we just get rid of the intro?
Yeah, we'll just start. We'll get someone else. We'll get another person to do the intro, and you just then start talking. Okay, monkeys?
You just talk shite. Somebody else will do an intro.
Yeah. You're clearly never going to get it right. I imagine that's like the vein. You know when people have to read off a script. This is like a pre-recorded show. I imagine that's a vein of the editor's life.
Oh, I'd say it definitely is.
Yeah. Hearing people just repeat a line. Can we take another two? Simple sentence. You say it every week.
It's just the same sentence with a different number.
Yeah. The only thing that changes is the number.
No, Mark's not great with numbers.
Not great with numbers. Not great with adding them together, not great with subtracting them, and not great with just saying them in general or remembering which ones come next. But we managed to put together, despite our shit intro, we managed to put together a fairly interesting show, Ken, this week.
We did.
We talked about a Japanese princess who has to pick between money or love. I know which one I'd pick. We're going to be talking about the UK's fuel shortage. It's very topical now. That is, in fairness, like very like newsworthy stuff right there. Then
yeah, we're getting we're keeping up with the times.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're like a magazine show.
Magazine show.
Then we'll be talking about our idiots of the week, and we have quite a few idiots of the week.
We do.
A man joins a search party for a missing person and ends up on our idiots of the week.
Yeah.
Then we have Machine Gun Kelly. Ken wants to nominate Machine Gun Kelly as for the next several months to just be like an honorary member of the idiots of the weeks. Like every week, we don't even know what he does, but Ken wants to just have him as a consistent member of Idiots of the Week.
We should send him a t-shirt.
Yeah.
He's just Idiot of the Week for life.
See, that's what we were actually going to do. Well, I don't know if we were actually going to do. We talked about, we fantasized that we'd get Idiots of the Week t-shirts made up and that we would send them to our Idiots of the Week. We'd send them little t-shirts. But then we're actually giving them proof that we slandered them, and necessary. Then we'd have to make sure that we actually told stories correct and had evidence to back up, so we didn't have ourselves with a lawsuit on our hands. So I don't know if necessary that is a great idea. We could actually make them up, and our listeners could pay for us to send them to a person they think is an idiot, and they would receive, some random person would receive an Idiot of the Week t-shirt that our listeners thinks they are an idiot, and they mightn't have never ever heard of our podcast before. So we could do that. They're like, well,
I'd fight Machine Gun Kelly.
Ken,
that's how much of a fucking idiot he is. I'll fight.
You heard this first. Ken has never ever offered to fight anybody before, but he is willing to fight Machine Gun Kelly.
Like, I'll fight him
in a bare knuckle street fight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I'll just fight him.
TLC rules. That's how much Machine Gun Kelly has managed to get under Ken's skin.
Like, I'll just fight him. I hate him.
He wants to fight him. If you want to see a celebrity match, boxing match, the next celebrity boxing match, it's going to be Ken versus Machine Gun Kelly. You hear it here first.
You know what the funny thing here is? Like, when he had the whole thing with Conor McGregor, I was like, Conor's a dick. But now I'm thinking, no. Conor needs to kill him.
I was on the same boat in terms of, like, when I seen that Conor threw a drink over someone for not getting in a fight, I was like, fuck Conor. And then I was like, well, do you know, if there was a person to get a drink thrown over and get slapped in the face, is Machine Gun Kelly the worst person that happened to? And you're like, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I kind of hope it happens again with more people. More people need to. I'm just going to throw this out there. More people need to punch Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, and then we'll also be talking about a woman who's having a threesome with God.
As you do, like, we've all been there, in fairness.
Like, brings the Lord touched me to a whole different meaning.
Touched by Jesus.
Touched by Jesus. It's
I want to get down on my knees and praise Jesus.
I think like I think The Simpsons did a sketch about this. It was like a person in court, or could be a child, and it was like, point to the door where God touched you. He's like, you see that light in the confession booth or in the witness, whatever you call it, the person where they're being accused of stuff, and he's just like, that person's a liar or something like that.
South Park done this the whole time.
Yeah, so like this has actually happened for real life. You know how people say like Simpsons have predicted stuff in the past?
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons predicted you won't be touched by Jesus. Or not by Jesus, by God. Maybe Jesus took over.
Maybe.
They don't send weekly newsletters. They kind of let us just make stuff up. It's kind of the reason why we're all at war with each other. We'll say, if the gods were more vocal about how they want us to live our lives and how much or which one is right, which one's real, it would stop a lot of wars.
I don't think it would.
Would you know? If gods were like, hey,
people would still be arguing about it.
I am God, I am the Messiah, or whatever it is in other religions. These people are right.
All you have to do is think about it, right? So, like, Christians are waiting for the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah.
So far, there has been a few people who have come out and said they're Jesus, and they've developed followers and stuff, and Christians in the church and stuff are all like, now these people are just crackpots.
Yeah.
So, like, if Jesus actually did come back, it's going to have the exact same result as it had the first time. The church is going to be like, nah, this guy's a fucking nut.
They need proof.
They're
like, okay, walk on water.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to get proof. That's where the whole Doubting Thomas thing came from.
Yeah, I get
You're
that.
supposed to believe. It's blind faith. That's what the church teaches.
Maybe it's like love, Ken. When you come across it, you'll just know he is the real Jesus Christ.
Next time somebody says, I'm Jesus, you're supposed to just believe it.
Well, no, it's like I said, it's like love. You're just meant to know. You're meant to know. I know he's Jesus. I can feel it in my heart and soul. And that's why she's letting him touch him. She also has an OnlyFans account, Ken.
Is God in there with her?
I kind of feel like she's trying to like capture the Christian market here. This might be, if I can be very cynical, this might be a financial deploy, because you need their niche in like OnlyFans. You need their niche market that you're selling to, or else you're gonna have to go way through the like hundreds of other people that are showing boobs.
Yeah, but they're not holy boobs.
Exactly, and that's her niche. She's saying Christian porn, even though Christians are against porn. She's going down Christian porn. So which is hilarious. So, like I said, I imagine people are thrilled and excited in equal measure to us to start talking about our wonderful stories. We've definitely got a mixed bag.
Don't we always?
Yeah, we always say we have a mixed bag, but we definitely this week have a lot more. We have something for everyone, realistically.
You got Christian porn, you got God.
Yeah.
You got Machine Gun Kelly being a fucking gimp.
But I think we'll start with a moral question, and that is, would you choose money over love, or would you follow your heart and reject a life of fortune and basically not having a job and sitting on your home and get paid for just being royal?
I don't particularly give too much of a shite about money.
So what you're saying, Ken, is you'd pick love over money.
I'd pick most things over money.
So Ken, and then you know, there's probably a lot of people in love that go, no matter any amount of money in the world would make me part ways with my love of my life.
Like, the only reason that I even like deal with money is because you have to.
You have to a certain amount to survive. But you're saying, like, it wouldn't really enrich your life if you had millions and millions in the bank.
No, I'd literally just work. I'd be the exact same as I am right now, except that I would work less.
Yeah, and in fairness to this Japanese princess, I didn't get her name because I'd probably make balls of it anyway. Because of imperial law, if she marries a commoner, she has to give her title away. So she has to give her heir to the throne. She's third in line to be the head of the Japanese royal family. And because of the royal law, women who marry outside of the royal bloodline have to give up their title. Men can continue on, and I know that's misogyny, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to go. And she's given it up. She said, no, I'd rather marry this man. I'm in love with this man, and I'm going to give it up. Now, the article also says that she is going to receive 950,000 living expenses, but otherwise she's going to be kicked out of her. So she's not giving up her millions. She's going to keep her millions as well. When I first heard this story, it was put in the article like she's choosing money over love, or she's choosing love over money. She should follow her heart and leaving the royal family behind. Blah blah blah. And then you're like, she's getting a living bonus of 950,000. So she's going to have plenty of money. But it'd be interesting if she was giving up money for love. And like you said, you don't care about money. And so Ken's in the same boat. And there's probably, like I said, there's a load of people out there that would choose their love of their life over £1 million, especially £1 million. Like, you wouldn't be able to live off £1 million. Maybe 100 million might change your mind. But there's a study done by LG, Ken. Now, LG surveyed 2,000 couples and they interviewed them, and they came across some very interesting data. They found that 1/3 of people in a relationship that they surveyed found their partner the most annoying person they know. They are the most annoying person that they know. So this Japanese princess could have been giving up her life, her fortune, her kid's heir to the throne for the most annoying person that she knows, Ken. 1 in 3 people find them. That's insane that that they actually find your partner the most annoying person in the world.
It's definitely women.
Yeah, Ken has has the theory that people who made this list were the girlfriends in relationships and not necessarily the lads.
Yeah, it was definitely not the lads.
There were 1 or 2 things that you might go, well, if I'm sexist, this seems like a lot of female complaints. The data revealed that these individuals spend as much as 1/5 of their day together. So they don't even spend that much together. Their significant other, and kind of stuff that they find annoying is snoring, passing wind, loudness, messiness, and like at this stage, I was like, "What? Have you been talking to my girlfriend? Wow?" She's like, I'm starting to feel like a personal attack at this stage.
You're starting to feel the love.
Yeah, and rudeness. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I tick all those boxes. I'm a horrible human being. That's what basically 5 hours of being around them annoys them absolutely the most. And then like other things that you might, okay, this could be boy or girl, is like they never listen. It just seems like a girl complaint. You never listen to me.
That's definitely about a lad.
Yeah, they talk through TV shows.
That one might be a girl.
That one might be a girl. Who could be also a lady. They're bad with money. Could be either. Be honest with you. Using their phone mid-conversation. Which
I'm going to say that's probably more a girl thing.
Yeah. Leave clothes on the bedroom floor.
That's a boy thing.
And they're just messy in the kitchen.
That's both.
Yeah. Is there any, like, do you have pet peeves?
Not really.
Yeah. Well, there probably was, but I'm not going to air my dirty laundry on my podcast.
Yeah, like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm like, oh, that really fucking pisses me off.
Yeah. Anyway.
You obviously can.
There's like, but like, then, well, like, what this article goes into, and like, even though you find these people the most annoying people in the world, and that they annoy the hell out of you, that is actually these traits that you wouldn't change about. You wouldn't change anything about these people. You're still madly in love with them, and you still like couldn't see yourself with anybody else. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call Stockholm Syndrome. One third of people are living through Stockholm Syndrome in their life, and that's what's holding their relationship together, is their experienced Stockholm Syndrome. This princess is going to give up her royal title for a possible life of Stockholm Syndrome, where she's just going to fall madly in love with things that absolutely drive her mad about her partner.
Did this guy by any chance kidnap her at some stage?
Possibly. I think they met in college. She was studying something, and they obviously hit it off. She was like, yes, I will marry this person eventually.
I would marry this random non-royal person.
Yeah, and maybe I'll do maybe she's seen that the British royals did this and they were able to keep their titles and it was okay, and maybe the Japanese would be like, have your titles, have your relationship.
They have to take lesser titles though, don't they?
No, she's completely cut off in terms of...
No, I think the British ones have to take lesser titles.
I don't think so. I think your man's, whoever's next in line is still next in line to be King of England, and their kids will be princess and prince. So I don't know how many kids they have. The only people that gave it up was the other two, the American one and your man.
Yeah, but wasn't that part of the row over that their kids weren't automatically entitled to the title prince and princess because she's not a royal?
No, I think it was more of a media pressure and stuff like that. And your one says like, oh, they also were quite racist to me. There's a few things.
They rejected their kid. Their kid wasn't allowed to be called prince.
Are you sure? Because she was given like she was given a dame or something like that.
Yeah, because she married a prince.
Yeah,
the actual kid, the kids, they were like, yeah, your kids aren't going to have a title.
But both of them are with commoners, and the other ones, like her kids, are going to be the prince of whatever.
It's because they agreed to it, and he'll actually be king someday.
Yeah, well, like in fairness, in order for their kids, like it has to take an awful lot of debts in the family, in order for like their kids. I think whoever's next in line has 2 or 3 kids at this stage, like, so they're the next to take over, from him. So like the next eldest takes over, and then it goes down and down. So like all of them have to die or just reject the title, and then it goes on to the other side.
Just start poisoning people.
Just start poisoning. But no one wants it. Apparently the royals don't want none of them want to be king or queen or whatever. Like, it's apparently meant to be a pretty shit life.
Oh, you can just kind of guess that it's pretty shit life.
I don't know, like on the paper, like you get your college paid for. You get
like on paper, but like
they were able to even go backpacking. Your man joined the army. He was fucking probably had like SAS soldiers around him all the time. It was like
the only way for you to actually get to like live as a royal is to not be anywhere near the line of succession for the throne.
Yeah,
like if you are anywhere on that list, like your life is shit.
It seems like all jobs have their perks and their disadvantages.
So it's just the disadvantage that your life is shit.
Well, it's not. There's probably 9 parts about their life, and then there's a lot of pomps and circumstances, and they're probably like, I don't know. Like, I've never watched a program about royals.
Refused. Like if they want to go somewhere, like they can be refused. No, you can't go there.
Yeah, well, they were, like I said, the lads went motorbike around the world there a while ago. They were on little quads, and your man joined the army, and they seemed like they had a life, to be honest with you.
I think they all have to join the army though, don't they?
No.
Do all the boys not have to do, when you're in if you're in that line of succession, do you not have to do a certain amount of time in the army?
It'd be kind of weird if you did, especially any time that you're at war.
Because like they all have.
Have they?
But they don't.
I don't know how one has.
No, William did. Harry did. Charles did.
Well, Charles was was a commander of a navy.
Yeah, Harry's the only one to reject that right. They don't actually have to serve on the ground.
Yeah.
It was the same with William. Wasn't William like a fucking...
He was a
command center operative or some shit?
He did actually go on. He actually did go on where they went walkabouts with the guns and the guys go around. He did do a few of them, but like I said, they probably had SAS. But yeah, he did he studied like geography, I think, in college or something like that. So he was like, I don't know, these mapping things or drone things. I don't know. I don't follow the royals too well. I don't really know a whole lot about them.
Yeah, me either.
My sister's obsessed with it. My sister,
I never understood how Irish people can be obsessed with the British royals.
Well, I think if you're obsessed with famous people, like my sister watched E! Entertainment a lot. So she's obsessed with the American royal family, the Kardashians. And so she just likes celebrity, obviously, and she just follows celebrity. So that's that is the biggest family in England. So she kind of follows them. She's obsessed with all those documentaries about the family and how messed up they are. She finds that fascinating. I'm like, okay,
or how absolutely inbred they all are.
Yeah, exactly. I still think it's mad because there is a fleeting pool of royals that they still have this we have to marry royalty. I think I think Spain has a royal family. I don't know if Portugal does.
Portugal has a royal family.
France got rid of theirs.
One of them, I'm not sure if it's Spain or Portugal. One of them, the royal family is actually elected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the king gets elected.
That's weird. That's a president, basically, at that stage.
Yeah, I don't know, if it's a for life thing or what, but yeah, there's one of them where they get elected.
I know not Netherlands. Yeah, it's the Netherlands. Have one. I think Sweden has a royal family. I think Swedish people have.
Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about any other countries that were invaded and then given their lands back. I don't think any of them have royal families. Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't. Yeah, I just think the idea of royal families is crazy at this stage. None of them rule. They're just kind of figureheads.
Yeah, the day
of a proper king.
Of monarchs is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about countries that have monarchs, and since we're on the UK, talking about the prince and princesses and all them for the UK and all that blah blah blah. UK decided to leave Europe, and then they were always 1 foot in, 1 foot out of Europe. They there's always hesitancy about ever even joining. I think they voted on it to join Europe, and it only passed by the slimmest of margins. And so they were always kind of a little bit resilient or a little bit outish for joining, even though it was I think Winston Churchill proposed the idea of the predecessor to the EU.
Yeah, the EEC.
Yeah, that was an idea. It was Winston Churchill came up with the idea. So anyway, they left, and at the time they were kind of told fuel shortages would be one of the things, big hurdles that UK would have to overcome post Brexit, and it kind of was forgotten about a lot by and large. And now all of a sudden UK are suffering with fuel shortages. They're where does this come from? Oh yeah, we kind of left the EU, and
oops,
and now we have no drivers. So they have fuel. They have plenty of fuel, but they've no one to drive the lorries for them. And this is going to become a pretty big story in the UK. And there's a lot of people blaming Brexit on them. A lot of people blaming COVID. And the British says, oh no, we've always had shortage of drivers. This is just COVID's emphasized this even more. But they don't have enough drivers to drive the fuel trucks to the petrol stations, so you're seeing massive 3-hour queues outside petrol stations because people are panic buying now. So people are buying more than they actually need because they feel that the fuel's going to run out, which creates more of a mess. It's kind of like the whole toilet paper thing. Remember, like, start of COVID, toilet paper oddly was the first thing to got run out.
Yeah, people went mad for toilet roll.
Yeah, people were like, I don't want to be stuck without toilet paper. And like people are just buying up loads and loads. This is the same things now happen with fuel. Because people hear that there might be a shortage of fuel, they're buying more fuel than they actually need, which is causing the prices of fuel to drive up. But like the government's doing like arseways, because first of all, they need about 10,000 drivers, which is a lot. And so they've offered like 5,000 visas. So they're going to allow 5,000 people come into their country to drive lorries for them. But it's only going to be for 3 months.
And part of the problem as well is that they're underpaying them.
Well, they're underpaying them for them.
They were saying that they're not actually getting paid what they should be getting paid.
And well, one of the I was listening to like LBC, which is like a station in the UK, and they were saying, well, they had a Polish driver on who's like head of a union for drivers, and they're like, he was talking about the biggest reasons why they like no driver wants to go over there. They're like, first of all the good jobs are taken. So for like the people who are currently living in the UK are going to be driving all the good jobs or have all the good routes and aren't going to take the shit shifts. Like the only things probably left that they're missing is the really shit shifts, like weekend work, night work, stuff like that. And then they're going to have to join probably agency who's going to take a huge cut of their things. So they're going to get the shittest jobs. They're going to have to give away all the money that they're offering. They're going to have to give away a percentage of that to an agency, because that's probably the only way that they're going to get any job out there. And then after 3 months, after they uproot their family or themselves, after 3 months, you might be kicked out. Or if not after 3 months, after 6 months, when they start to get, like, because there's a huge push to get more people driving lorries, and there's huge incentives for people to try to drive lorries. So until they get like their UK people trained in, then their job is going to be taken up by a person who has very little experience driving trucks, and they're going to be told to go home.
Yeah, because same thing. I was watching a thing where they had a trucker union guy on, and he was saying that there isn't actually, like, all this thing that there's a shortage of drivers. There isn't a shortage of drivers. It's 50% of it is that they won't pay the going rate. So drivers are more likely to actually go, you know what, we're going to go and take a job in the EU because we're getting paid more. Well,
also they said like in terms of stuff that are there for drivers, they have like good kind of like safety protocols and good kind of packages there in terms of how to like run the haulage industry, but none of the rules are enforced. So that means you have drivers who are driving a lot longer than they're legally entitled to, or not getting given enough time off between shifts. And nothing is regulated. Nothing is properly enforced. You have all these regulations for driver safety and driver hours, and they're being ignored because they're not being enforced. So you have drivers driving like a lot longer than they should be legally allowed to, not having a lot of time off between shifts, doing a stupid amount of hours. And yeah, that's the reason why isn't that like you can't, there's not enough people in the UK to drive lorries. This is no one's the shit job of driving a lorry.
Yeah.
It's like an awful job.
Like, pay people properly and give them proper working conditions.
Yeah, and like over here we have a shortage of drivers as well. And people are being paid, like, offered €800 a week to like drive a lorry over here, because they can't get anybody to fill it, because and I was like, yeah, because you have to work 50 to 60 hours. That's like, so if you work even 50 hours in the lower end of that, is like, that's 10 5-hour days in a row you have to work.
And like, companies are doing ridiculous things. Like, where I work are trying to get random people. Like, I was offered a job as a driver. I was like, I'm not fucking doing it. Yeah,
because your man was actually, one of the radio presenters actually brought this up and said, what do you think about, like, okay, I could hang up my headphones right now and go out and get all the licenses and pay all the fees that you need to become a driver. How irresponsible is that? And he goes, well, I started first driving a van, and then I moved up into a small size truck. like a box body size truck, and then I moved up into a slightly bigger truck, and then I started driving Arctics. So there's over a number of years I built my way up in terms of like the driver. Like I would not really trust a person who goes from driving a car to driving a lorry overnight.
Yeah, like obviously it doesn't make sense. Like,
yeah, so like it's a huge problem, and I think you're going to see more and more of it. Like, because it isn't. I don't really think it's Brexit. I think Brexit is being like portrayed as the problem here, but the industry isn't attracting people for one reason or the other. Like, it's this reason why like there's a shortage of this, but like right now, I think Ireland's facing a job shortage of people. Like, there's definitely ever I see it, I think there's a pub in Naas said that they can't serve food Mondays and Tuesdays because they don't have enough staff in the kitchen. They don't have enough staff to fill for the kitchen, so they have to cook 2 days out that they can serve food. I've heard loads of people that are looking for staff, and this is what life is without immigration. All those races given out about immigrants come taking jobs. So this is what it is. This is what life is, where enough people come to your country buying, taking jobs, and like taking shit jobs that people don't want to take. It is like, this is what life is like without people coming to your country.
Yeah, like we've had a third of the staff in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and like, because no one's really traveling the country for work because of COVID, a lot of people might have even, I know a few people even going home, and Australia's experienced this now as well. A lot of people are leaving Australia because of their restrictions around COVID and all. A lot of people are coming home, and a lot of people are leaving Ireland as well to go to Canada and stuff like that. Like, it's fucking, yeah, this what happens when you don't have immigration. We need immigrants.
Yeah, people just won't admit that, though. Like people won't say, "Oh, you actually." Like, all you have to do is look at every cleaner. Well, not every cleaner, but the majority of like cleaners and stuff like that.
Taxi drivers.
Yeah, they're not
security work. Yeah,
because it's a shit job.
Or meat factories.
Yeah,
try to get a person to work in a meat factory that's from Ireland.
Like, they're shit jobs, you're overworked and underpaid, and that's why people don't want to do them.
And you're treated like shit. And the only way they can get people to fill those roles is because the people don't have English, have zero chance of getting employment anywhere else that you need to be able to communicate with other people who can speak English, and are stuck in a factory full of people that speak the same language of them. Like, that's literally why these factories are running, and like, it's literally because of that. So like, I thought that was mad. Moving on anyway. That was our magazine topic. That was us being very kind of like political and sensible. Like, that's something that I kind of feel like we're almost like at the level of your man. What's that guy on RT? Yates, or even Ivan Yates. We're nearly on the level of Ivan Yates there. You know those news talk segments you often see floating around the internet. We can post our own news talk segments.
So now let's get on to like some guy who stuck his dick somewhere that was stupid.
Yeah, so now there's a part of the show we call Idiots a Week, and it's created for idiots by idiots, and it's where we talk about people doing really dumb things. And the first idiot of the week is a man who got drunk and wandered off into a forest. And this happened in Turkey. Your man is in his 50s and walked into this wooded area and wasn't seen for the rest of the night, and then again the next day. So his friends got worried and rang the police and said, here, a friend wandered off drunk into a forest and hasn't been seen. So a search party was set up when locals around the area, this Turkish city, once again I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, heard about this. They start joining the search party and looking for your man. One of those people who joined the search party was your man who went missing.
Hey, how did this happen? Did he know the search party was for him?
No. So your man is man.
How did he think he was looking for?
I think there's a lot of like things that are very peculiar in this story. I take everything as it happened, and that I have a clickbait article. Generally, I get my stories from the same news source, so I kind of trust it. Your man's called Behan Mutlu, and that's Mutlu Mutlu. I don't speak Turkish, so yeah, let's think it was right, and yeah, so basically. Once people started hearing about this man went missing in this wood area, they started joining the party. His friends would have been in the search parties. You know how the search party gathers. Everyone's there together. They're talking about how they're going to search and how they're going to break up off into teams. His friends would have been standing beside him when this was going on. Didn't recognise that their friend Mutlu was right beside him. And it wasn't only until the search party started calling out his name that he goes, wait, who are we looking for? Because that's my name. And they're like, we're looking for you, obviously. And they're like, so like, yeah, so he said, I'm here. And basically they're like, oh, we found him. Well, thank God you're all right then.
Like, but usually when they do a search party, don't they like show everybody who joins the search party, this is a photo of the guy we're looking for?
Yeah, so like, in the article it says, it's not clear.
There's so many idiots here.
Yeah, so first of all, it says it's not clear how Mutlu came to discover his own search party, or how his friends failed to realise that he had joined the search party for himself. But he was like, "Yep, they obviously didn't look around the crowd. I guess it's always in the most obvious place, and you know, like when you're looking for someone in the wooded area, you're not scanning the search party to find the person you're looking for. You take it. The people who are looking for you aren't you yourself.
Like, I don't know. That just seems mental.
Yeah, like in fairness, it is crazy. So our next idiot of the week is Machine Gun Kelly, and I guess you have this story, so you have the information on this story.
Yeah, so it's just Machine Gun Kelly's an idiot.
Why is Machine Gun Kelly an idiot?
Why is he not an idiot?
What has he done this week to make him make the rounds then?
So he had the whole thing with Slipknot.
All right, what happened with Slipknot? In case people haven't heard this story.
So he was on stage a couple of weeks ago, and he said, or at least I'm not 50 years old wearing a Halloween mask up here doing whatever. And people like, what the fuck's he on about? Like, why is he throwing shade at Slipknot?
Yeah.
And then word got around to Corey Taylor, the singer for Slipknot, and he was like, oh, Machine Gun Kelly's being a fucking knobhead. And he said something back, and then Machine Gun Kelly was like, oh, you're just thick because I refuse to have you on my album. And then Corey Taylor was like, look, I don't normally do this, but here you go. Here's a bunch of emails sent between me and you, and it turned out that Machine Gun Kelly asked Corey Taylor to be on his album because, you know, the way he kind of used to rap on Slipknot's first couple of albums, and he rapped on he has a solo album out now that he kind of raps on.
All right.
So he done a verse, he rapped a verse for Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly was like, yeah, that's cool and all, it's deadly, it's going to go on the album, but can you also do this extra thing that I wrote that in a kind of Slipknot-y style? And Corey was like, you know what, if you want me to just like be on your album and do like Slipknot stuff, I'm not interested, get somebody else.
Alright.
And then Machine Gun Kelly shot back and was like, you're just salty because your verse was shit. I was just trying to be nice, your verse was shit. And Corey's like, fuck off. So then a bunch of people showed up to his gig. Machine Gun Kelly had a gig at the weekend, I think, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people showed up wearing Slipknot t-shirts. And he got booed between every song. Every time he tried to talk, he got booed. Every time there was a bit any sort of silence at all, he got booed. And he got pissed off and he jumped into the crowd and he started punching fuckers.
He started swinging for the fences.
Yeah, so, you know, he's a fucking idiot.
Sean Conner, I can throw punches as well.
Yeah, they just being a fucking knob.
So,
You know what? I'd actually love Machine Gun Kelly punch me.
all right, just so you can hit him back. By the way, Ken has laid down the challenge to Machine Gun Kelly, so we're going to need to tag Machine Gun Kelly. Ken wants to fight Machine Gun Kelly.
I would fight Machine Gun Kelly
in a live pay-per-view match.
Like, no problem. I don't give a shit.
He'll do it for free, by the way.
Yeah, I'll fight him for nothing.
Ken hasn't been training, has gained a lot of weight, is out of shape, but regardless of all those factors, Ken will fight Machine Gun Kelly.
I'll fight. And actually, Matt Heafy from Trivium, he said he'll fight him too.
So it's going to be a tag team match. Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly for Matt Heafy and Ken Riley.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Machine Gun Kelly though, Matt Heafy has been training.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's always kind of looks like he's in shape.
Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu purple belt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh no, actually he's a brown belt now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Machine Gun Kelly has his hands full.
Yeah, but like I'll fight him. I don't give a fuck.
But like this is all he's really known for. Like I've never really heard any of his music on the radio. I don't know what type of music he plays. And
so this is all that I know about him, right? So the first thing I only heard about him because he played Tommy Lee in The Dirt.
Yeah.
In the Motley Crue movie. And then apparently he had some sort of a fucking beef with Eminem.
Yeah.
And Eminem released a diss track and he got so destroyed in it that he changed genres from rap to pop punk.
Oh, right,
and he got Travis Barker. So Travis Barker plays drums for his little pop punk fucking thing. And Travis Barker is how he met Corey Taylor and stuff. So he started mounting it down, and then Corey's like, "Man, I'm gonna just fucking end you."
So yeah, like I said, like he seems more known for his like public beefs than he does with like his music. So I don't know if it's just necessarily just how he gets attention.
That's not, like rap fans know him for getting so badly destroyed by Eminem that he changed music genres.
That really, like, you have to get absolutely destroyed for like I can't be in the same industry as a person who's pretty much retired from music because I've been so.
This guy said bad things about me.
like especially like I guess pop punks is like a lower form to be accepted, but rock's a very we've talked about this before. It's very kind of like clicky, and it's very hard to break into like the rock scene and be accepted if you're outside of the rock scene. Even like if you think about Fightstar really had a really hard time of to be accepted. I don't think they ever really were accepted as like.
Most of their problem was that they were shit.
I actually liked a few of their songs, in fairness to them. But like they just weren't accepted, and anytime they played like any rock festival like that, it's just so clicky. So like for a person to come from like rap and try to make it in like again, like I said, pop punk's a little bit different. It's a little bit more mainstream. If you think of like bands like Blink-182, stuff like that, they're a little bit more accepted. Paramore every now and again gets played on the radio.
Like it does work sometimes. Like Ice-T has a metal band.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have what was that big thing where it was like a metal band and a hip hop band came together? 90s, 80s maybe. Massive Attack? Was it? No, Anthrax
and Public Enemy.
Yeah, Public Enemy came together.
Yeah.
That was a great. It can work, but I think you need someone to hold the door for you. Almost, you need hey, I'm a rock star and I accept these people. Or they're like, okay,
or else you just need like to have absolute like just kick ass musicians behind you. It's one or the other. Like you need something to like. I think Machine Gun Kelly's just going, oh look at me, I'm fucking doing covers of stupid fucking Sum 41 songs now. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, you have to also make your own shit. You can't do covers as well. Like that's something that won't fly.
Yeah, like go fuck yourself, you dickhead.
Yeah. So So machine gun killers are another idiot of the week. And our final idiot of the week, and it's probably our biggest idiot of the week, is an only fan star who claimed she's having 3 ways with God and her husband.
This is Meg Fox.
Yeah, so like a Christian OnlyFans model, of which like a Christian OnlyFans kind of is a contradiction, because I'm pretty sure religion, or at least the Catholic Church, is against people touching themselves. At least that's how we're reared. We're all sinners.
Yeah, all that she does is she opens and closes the Bible really slowly.
I really don't think outside of Ireland that there's any other place, maybe Italy, that like it's brought up with Catholic guilt. Like Irish Catholic guilt is a real thing.
Yeah, there's a whole big reason behind that as well. We won't get into it.
Yeah, I won't get into it too much. But anyway, obviously this woman wasn't brought up with Catholic guilt. She wouldn't be fucking on OnlyFans if she was. But basically, she's found her niche. And her name is Nita Marie. She's from Colorado in the US. She revealed that she and her partner like it to invite the Lord to join them in the bedroom. She's 45 years old. She says she has a three-way with her and God at least twice a week.
Of course she has.
And I'm pretty sure you can get a front row view of this if you pay a certain amount of money. But like,
I don't even know. Like, how did this start?
She needs to find a niche, and this was her niche. And she's like, I'll try to target the Christians and get all that Christian porn, because who else is doing Christian porn?
Do you know what I think she must have done? She done that thing that you do sometimes, and she looked up the fucking view stat on porn sites, and she's seen that people have been Googling God. Looking up God on porn sites, and they're like, "Oh, here we go. Hang on."
Well, maybe she did go stumble across a porn site, and sometimes, porn sites allegedly, I don't know, I've heard this off friends. Sometimes the porn sites will give you categories of, and so it's like it'd be like 3 ways. It'll be like your stepsister, your stepbrother, your step something, and then there's like lesbian, and then your step uncle, and then there's like gay, God. And then there's like old and granny and your nana, and it's like it keeps somehow referring back to people who are slightly related to you, which is a weird thing. And she's like, I don't see anything with God. So it's clearly there's a gap in the porn market for like God porn, and I'm gonna fill it with my vagina and my husband's dick and a light. Because like,
a light?
Well, she's an OnlyFans star, so like obviously she's a model. She has to like, I imagine she's like paying people to watch her and her husband have a 3-way with God twice a week.
This story is just fucked up to me now.
So although the Lord Almighty never appears physically, so she doesn't see God, she basically says she feels his presence while they're getting it on.
Actually, as you do, like.
She goes, when you invite God to be a part of sex, you change it from a physical to something sacred and spiritual.
Sacred.
Is it sacred? Sacred and spiritual.
I don't think it'd be scared.
Well, that's what I thought was odd. I was like, why is God scaring you? Like, does he have a weird shaped penis? And you're like, oh God, I thought you were perfect in every way. So, so like, basically, you're having this sacred sex with God, and like, if you want part of this, once again, sacred sex, you can buy it basically, which means that like you're paying for something for sacred, which is, I think, it's sin again.
It's like those televangelists. They're like, oh, send us money and we'll save your soul. Yeah,
they basically save us money and we'll show you. But like, imagine, I wonder how they like. Is it just a light in the room? So like, husband's on behind us. There's just a light shining in her face. She's like, "Oh yeah, stick it in me, God."
Or maybe it's just, like, I don't know. Maybe she got caught. Maybe she has like
a child. She's pregnant.
She's been having an affair with a guy named Godfrey. And she called her husband or her boyfriend God one day, and he was like,
"Well, huh? we were talking about this before we went on air, and there was a case a few years ago where a woman, while her husband was away on tour, he's part of the army, got pregnant. And the baby was a different colour than the mother and father, let's just say. And she blamed it on the colour TV that she was watching. Well, it wasn't colour TV. I think it was 3D TV. She blamed it anyway. She blamed it on the TV. She said she was watching porn. And I think you said it was a 3D TV. And because of the 3D TV, the TV got her pregnant. And that's why the baby, how she's pregnant, was the TV's fault. It was her touching herself watching porn got her to be pregnant on a 3D TV. And her husband believed her, or her boyfriend believed her, her partner believed her, I think it's the politically correct way to say it. Her partner believed her, and they tried to sue the TV company. They tried to sue the makers of the TV. So maybe this is what was happening, is her husband went away, and she said, "Oh no, I think it must be God's baby, because when we were having sex, I didn't tell you this, but I was inviting God in, and that's why the baby has different color eyes or whatever." How he found out. That's why the baby's ginger. God's a redhead. Don't you know it? That's why they don't have any soul.
People are kind of stupid.
Yeah, they really believe anything. But yeah, it maybe I think it might be a smart deployed to get some of that Christian money. All those sinners watching porn.
That could be exactly what she's up to.
I'm more than likely, because let's face it, it's a very crowded market. I'd say OnlyFans. You have to do your kind of niche to stick out in the market.
I'll take your word for it.
You're gonna have to find a way to separate you from the crowd, and if there's people who dress up as dogs, there are people who shit in buckets.
People that dress up as babies.
There are people who dress up as babies, yeah, which I think should be illegal. If you're dressing up as a baby, it should be illegal. The person who's buying your porn should be reported to the police.
There was a whole TV program on about that yesterday.
The people who were buying that porn should be arrested. They should be on at least on a list and be tracked at all times and not be allowed near a school.
That's the fucking weird thing about that's where even those what are they called, pedophile hunters.
Yeah.
That's the grey area that they fall into as well. There's been loads of times where people have actually gotten off because these pedophile hunters are going after them, because they're going to the cops and they're like, "Oh, look, this guy thought he was talking to a 13-year-old girl, but he was actually talking to this 34-year-old woman." And they're like, "Yeah, nothing illegal there." Yeah. Because it wasn't signed off. But if a cop does it, they go through a judge and stuff, and it's all perfectly legal and you can do it that way. But when some guy on the internet thinks he's talking to a 13-year-old, it turns out to be 34. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that and I kind of that should be put a team behind them and search the person who's buying porn. The only I guess maybe it's the early stages where they're oh no, but the person's really legal. You know how step porn is a thing. Yeah.
That's because they're not related in the porn that they're watching. It's not technically sick, but it is sick anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why that porn is almost acceptable. Whereas, if it was, oh, your actual relatives, people are yeah.
But that's why cops to be instead of going out and confronting these people, contact us and tell us that you've done this, so that we can set up a fucking thing and actually catch them.
Yeah, because what'll happen? They'll go underground now. They're not going to be messaging anybody for a while, or they'll probably learn from the mistakes and figure out a way of hiding their.
Yeah, that. Do you remember that guy? He was a producer for RTE. He got caught in the UK, and all that he did was he moved back home.
Was he sent back to the UK though?
He was sent back to the UK, but the judge was there was nothing that he'd done here that is illegal. He was messaging a fucking 30-year-old woman.
And he got caught up in the ring.
Yeah, he got caught by.
But didn't they find a load of porn on his like laptop?
Yeah, but they had to. It took so long to fucking actually go and sort it all out. They couldn't search his house or anything, so they found a guy in a computer shop. Was like, oh, he actually left the laptop in to get fixed. Here it is. Look, there's a load of kiddie porn on it, and that's how they got him. They didn't get him because they were like, oh.
And your man could have got off because your man go, well, that porn wasn't on my laptop. Your man put it on.
Yeah. Like, that took fucking a long time because they had fucked it up.
Oh. So there, we learned a little bit from that story as well. Don't go after pedophiles. Let the authorities take care of it.
Yeah, well, no, like, go after them if you want, but, like, don't confront them. Like, contact the authorities to confront them so that it's done legally and they actually go to jail rather than getting away with it because you're not fucking 13.
Or tie them to a farce and find hungry dogs.
Yeah. Or that thing, did you ever hear that thing with the rat and the biscuit tin?
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's also a good one as well. Or pigs. They can chew through bone.
Yeah, pigs actually won't leave
any trace
behind, yeah.
Imagine the person ended up not, but you got the wrong person. You're like, oh god, that's actually loving father of two.
You just be like, oh, whoops.
Whoops. Go to hell. Lord's work. Anyway, I think we'll leave it with that because the podcast is starting to go down a weird angle. And I think we've come pretty good at, like, when it gets a little bit too weird, go, okay, we're done.
Yeah, if it's too weird for us, it's too weird for you.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we'll leave it there for next week. We'll be back with the 212th show.
Yeah, getting up.
Two away from Ken's big anniversary of his 100th show doing podcasting.
Dun, 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 dun.
We'll be back next week.
Shut up and sit down.